Session 6, Storytelling, Governance, and the Professional Capstone. This is what actually matters. Not the tools. Not the dashboards. Not even the data. What truly matters is whether your work changes a decision. You can run perfect queries, build beautiful visuals, and write flawless formulas, and still get ignored if the insights don't guide action. The focus for today is simple but powerful: impact. Analytics only becomes meaningful when people understand it, trust it, and act on it. Think about the difference between presenting numbers and telling a story with them. Numbers alone are easy to overlook. Stories stick. They highlight patterns, clarify trade-offs, and point directly to decisions. That's why professional analysts don't just show data, they guide decisions. Governance ensures consistency and trust, storytelling ensures clarity, and professional thinking ensures relevance. Together, these elements transform technical skills into a career, not just a task. Everything you've built so far converges here: data quality, modeling discipline, measurement accuracy, SQL reliability, Excel analysis, and Power BI dashboards. Individually, these are tools. Combined with storytelling and governance, they become leverage. By the end of this session, the difference between a technician and an analyst is undeniable. One reports results. The other shapes decisions. This is where analytics stops being task-oriented work and starts becoming a career-defining capability. Data storytelling for decision-makers. Data storytelling is not about drama or flair, it's about clarity and purpose. Decision-makers don't need a tour of your analysis, they need a reason to act. The goal of a story is to guide decisions, not impress with complexity. A strong data story answers 3 essential questions. What is happening? Why does it matter? What should we do next? These questions keep the narrative focused and actionable. Professional analysts lead with insight, not process. They don't start with how the data was collected or how the formulas were built. They start with what changed and why it matters. Numbers support the message, they don't replace it. Charts, tables, and visuals exist to reinforce understanding, not to overwhelm the audience. In US organizations, this approach is crucial because executives are busy, and attention is scarce. If your message isn't clear, it's ignored, no matter how accurate the data. The best stories are simple and deliberate. One main idea anchors the message, one supporting trend illustrates it, and one clear recommendation directs action. Everything else remains in the background, accessible but not distracting. By structuring your analysis this way, data becomes persuasive without sacrificing integrity. Storytelling transforms numbers into decisions. It's the difference between a report that sits unread and an insight that drives measurable impact. Professional analysts understand that clarity and focus, not complexity, create influence and trust. US data governance and privacy. Trust is fragile, and in the US, protecting it around data is not optional, it's enforced by laws and regulations. Healthcare data is governed by HIPAA, financial data by regulations like GLBA, and consumer data by various state privacy laws. These rules exist to ensure that sensitive information is handled responsibly and ethically. Ignoring them isn't just risky, it can halt projects entirely. For example, an analyst once built a detailed, insightful customer report. The analysis was solid. The insights were actionable. But it included personally identifiable information, PII, that shouldn't have been shared. The project was immediately stopped. Not because the analysis was wrong, but because responsibility was ignored. This illustrates a key point: professional analytics isn't just about finding patterns or generating reports. It's about handling data correctly, every step of the way. Professional analysts understand governance deeply. They know what data can be used, how it must be stored, and who is authorized to see it. This isn't fear or bureaucracy, it's professionalism. Good governance protects customers, companies, and the analysts themselves. When leaders trust that data is managed properly, they trust the insights it produces. Without that trust, even the best analysis is ignored. In short, data governance isn't a checkbox, it's a foundation. Respect it, and analytics can create real impact. Neglect it, and insights will never see the light of day. End-to-end analytics capstone. This is where everything comes together. Every skill, every lesson, every concept you've learned is now part of one unified project, the capstone. But the capstone isn't about demonstrating that you can do every technical task perfectly. It's about judgment, the ability to make decisions that truly matter and prioritize what's important in a complex situation. Think about a real business problem, one with clear stakes where your analysis could influence a decision. Define the decision clearly. What question are you actually trying to answer? Once the question is defined, choose the right data to inform that decision. Don't just collect everything, select what is relevant, reliable, and actionable. Prepare it carefully, clean it, organize it, and validate it. Analysis is not about running every formula or creating every possible visualization, it's about moving purposefully toward your decision question. Every calculation, every chart, every aggregation should serve that goal. Finally, tell a clear story. Present your findings so that someone outside your project can immediately understand the insight and its implications. Here's a reflection. If someone asked, "What decision does your project support?" could you answer in one concise sentence? If not, your focus isn't sharp enough. Strong capstones feel focused, not cluttered. They demonstrate that you can think like a professional, not just execute tasks. That combination of clarity, insight, and judgment is exactly what hiring managers and decision-makers look for. It's the difference between a report that's read and a report that drives action. Career, portfolio, and next steps. Careers are built on evidence, not claims. A strong portfolio demonstrates how you think, not just which tools you can use. In the US job market, employers aren't impressed by certificates alone, they want proof that you can solve real problems, make decisions based on data, and handle that data responsibly. One analyst, for example, landed multiple interviews not because of technical credentials, but because their portfolio told a story. Each project clearly explained the business context, the decision it supported, and the impact of the outcome. That narrative made their work memorable and credible. Your next steps are crucial. Build projects that reflect real industries, retail, finance, healthcare, operations, so hiring managers see relevance. Each project should show clarity in thought, define the question, choose the right data, analyze with purpose, and present a story that executives could act on. Responsibility matters too. Ensure your data use aligns with regulations, respects privacy, and can be trusted. Finally, focus on impact. Highlight how your analysis influenced decisions, improved efficiency, or changed outcomes. A well-crafted portfolio doesn't just list tasks, it shows your judgment, methodology, and professionalism. It proves you are not just a technician who can run tools, but an analyst who drives decisions. By combining clarity, responsibility, and real-world impact, your portfolio becomes a powerful signal to employers that you're ready to contribute meaningfully from day one. Closing summary plus practical next steps. Bringing this journey to a close, you've seen the full arc of professional analytics, how analysts think strategically, how raw data is cleaned and structured, how insights are extracted and interpreted, and how those insights drive real business decisions. Storytelling turns analysis into action, giving decision-makers a clear path forward. Governance turns that action into trust, ensuring work is responsible, compliant, and reliable. As the privacy story showed, analysis alone isn't enough. Without governance, even brilliant insights can fail to influence decisions or introduce risk. 2 next steps reinforce professional thinking. Begin by selecting a past project and turning it into a story. Highlight the decision your analysis aimed to influence, the key insight, and the recommended action. Then, design your capstone around a single, real business question. Keep it focused: one problem, one insight, one recommendation. Clear, simple storytelling demonstrates strategic thinking beyond technical execution. You now have the full picture: analysis, preparation, insight, storytelling, and governance. This isn't the end of your journey, it's the foundation of a professional mindset. Build carefully. Think clearly. Make decisions responsibly. And above all, let your work speak for you. By consistently applying these principles, you position yourself not just as someone who can use tools, but as an analyst whose work influences outcomes, earns trust, and drives impact.